Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. I've decided that my favorite food on the planet is kimchi. And my favorite way to make kimchi is vegan. And my favorite ingredients to put in that vegan kimchi are from my garden. I have this beautiful bed of mint here. Look at all this mint. It looks fantastic. It really survived the winter nicely. I had this incredible bed over here of longevity spinach I got from my friend John Kohler with Growing Your Greens years ago. I also have this stunning, abundant harvest of Napa cabbage behind me that I've been growing all winter long in anticipation of this incredible vegan kimchi. So what I'm gonna do for this video is I'm gonna have you guys watch as I harvest all this Napa cabbage, beautiful from my garden. Then I'm gonna cut to the kimchi video, which I've never shown you guys here on Vegan Athlete before. And you guys can check out the recipe and the ingredients that we use for our homegrown vegan kimchi. Kimchi is basically just fermented stir fry. It's just a bunch of vegetables that's been fermented. So it's way better for your stomach, for your digestion, and for your body than yogurt is. You know, they say that yogurt has probiotics and all this business. You're better off eating plant-based foods, and kimchi is one of the ways I can get probiotics and healthy fermented foods into my bloodstream, into my body. And I even eat it for breakfast. It's a little sweet, it's a little spicy, super healthy. I have some avocado with it, have it on toast. I love it. And then right in front of your eyes, I'm gonna make the most perfect vegan kimchi you've ever seen in this video with you right now. I got my hori hori. This is a great gardening tool. It has a saw on this one side. And since I'm gonna be harvesting all the Napa cabbage in this bed and planting something else here for the summertime, I'm gonna actually take my hori hori and cut all these plants down and use the entire plant in this kimchi. Not only the leaves, but also the flowers, which are also edible. I'll probably leave one plant just to serve as the plant's gonna give me seeds I can plant the next season. So, let's get to the time lapse right now. Before we do, you guys follow me on social media, Jake Mace Tai Chi, Instagram and Snapchat. Join my new monthly seed program called seedbankbox.com. And you guys can also get my Urban Gardening in Arizona Facebook group for more gardening tips and community. Let's begin the time lapse right now.
Yo te traigo esta bomba puertorriqueña.
You guys ever grab carrots straight out of your garden and don't even wash them off that well? Just leave a little bit of B12 on there in the form of dirt. The sweetest carrots I've ever had in my life come from my garden.
Yo te la traigo de Cupey, de Vega Baja y de Santurce, de toda parte de Puerto Rico. Esta bomba yo la dedico a toda mi gente de Puerto Rico, a la familia Fontánez, allá en Cupey Alto y Lo Mejía en Vega Baja. ¡Que gocen! ¡Sí! Bomba, bomba, para siempre. Bomba, bomba está presente.
You guys, I'm close. I got the whole bed harvested and I got these beautiful greens here. These are a rare variety of collard green called tree collards, and I kid you not, I'm gonna plant these right now. They're this tall. In about a year and a half from now, they're gonna be 12 feet tall and live for about 3 years. In about a year and a half from now, I'll start pulling pups off and propagating them, because you take little pups off the mother plant and that's how you can spread them around to your friends and to other parts of your garden. So I've got 3 of these babies that were grown from my mother plants years ago, 2 here and 1 over here. I'm gonna put them in this bed like this. I got purple tree collard right here that's staked up. I got the green tree collard right here. And I've got 3 more Napa cabbage plants on the far side that I'll let stay there and live and go to seed so I can harvest the seeds to replant next season, next fall. Let me finish this bed right now, plant these tree collards out, water it, and then I'll show you guys the harvest and the bounty I just pulled out of this 1 3-foot by 6-foot raised bed garden. there we go. Did you guys see all that white stuff I put in the soil? That white stuff is this. It's like rock dust powder, and that's remineralizing my soil and putting a bunch of minerals back into my food. That's the power of gardening at home, is you can make the healthiest soil possible using minerals and worm castings and compost and coconut fiber. And then when you eat the food, it's infinitely healthier than anything you'd buy at the store. So I got my tree collards planted here, and they'll be good here for 3 years. And they'll grow into these huge 12-foot tall trees, and they'll push this netting up all the way. So as you guys follow my gardening adventures here at Vegan Athlete Channel, take special note whenever you see these tree collared plants in the background. You guys were here on day 1 to see me put them in the ground. All right, this is my tub full of Napa cabbage. It's totally full. It's a whole bunch. I think I can use all of it. I gave all the scraggly pieces to my rabbit chubs, to my tortoise Leo, and to my rescue chickens over there. And I'm gonna try to take these guys, hose them off, because since it's late in the season for Phoenix, Arizona, February 15th, Valentine's Day time is kind of late in the season for this kind of plant. And therefore it gets a little old and weak, and then aphids get it. So I got a couple little aphids here and there, but nothing too crazy. If you can see that leaf, it still looks really good. But there's a couple aphids here and there. So, and a couple little piles of bird poop. So I'm going to take each leaf, hose it off in this fruit tree so I don't waste any water. So the water goes into the fruit tree. And then when each leaf is clean, make a big pile of the nice clean leaves on this bench, and then bring them into the kitchen for my kimchi. I forgot to mention to you guys, when I'm gardening like this, it's kind of like brainless work, so I always put on NPR.
By performing real-time tax calculations and enabling
That's Marketplace. And I'm gonna save all these flowers to put on my salad tonight for tonight's dinner. So I'm gonna finish this up, cleaning these leaves off, and I'll meet you guys inside and show you guys how I make kimchi the vegan way.
This is Marketplace.
Hey Chubby Chubs. You want some greens, Chubs? They're good, my friend. But today, you're going to be a master chef, and you're going to show me how to make kimchi, which I've wanted to learn how to make for a long time. And you're going to make a vegan kimchi, so no fish in this one.
Correct.
And we have the ingredients laid out here on the counter, and about half these ingredients from my garden outside, and half you picked up from different stores.
Correct.
So why don't you really quick lay out, first of all, tell me, what is kimchi?
So kimchi is a fermented Korean dish that is Korean cabbage. Fermented usually from anywhere from 2 days to years, depending on how you like your flavor of it.
Is it fair that it's like fermented Asian coleslaw?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Kind of,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a very good probiotic that works in your body to help you break down foods and increase energy levels. It's very commonly used as actually breakfast dishes as well, because it helps the body get your metabolism ready for the day.
Yeah,
so,
in China they do a lot of pickled fermented things for breakfast.
And Japanese like to use it also. They use a lot of pickled for getting your metabolism going and stuff in the morning.
What language is that kimchi?
Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
So what is the benefits of eating fermented dishes, fermented foods?
Eating fermented foods, as I said, is a very good probiotic, so it's going to help your body metabolize and break down things better, so you're actually getting more out of your food if you combine something fermented or pickled along with your dish, so it will help your stomach break down things easier.
Well, let's go through the ingredients. So what do we got here? What is this?
That's Napa cabbage.
Napa cabbage. And what do we got here?
So that's the cabbage from your yard.
From my garden, like little cabbage sprouts. We've got, we're gonna put some collard greens in there.
Sure.
These are tree collards from my yard. And this is bok choy from my yard. And then we also have the green onions.
Correct.
These are Iatoi, Arizona native green onions. And then what is this right here?
Ginger.
Which used to look like this. And then you cut it up nice and thin.
I did.
And then we have an assortment of hot peppers in here. One of them is called the chiltepin pepper, the chiltepin, which is the ones I grew in my yard, the very traditional Mexican Native American pepper. We also have shishito peppers and cayenne pepper.
So traditionally they use a Korean red pepper, which you can find at your Asian store. You can find it in a big bag, but today we're going to be using a whole bunch of peppers out of your yard.
Because I didn't have Korean red pepper in my yard.
No, but it should be amazing. Like, it's going to give it a different kind of flavor to it, so I'm really excited about that.
And you have some cabbage over here already fermenting in a bowl. And you have it soaking in this stuff, which is what?
I do. This is ume vinegar, so it's ume plum vinegar, or umeboshi, which are the Japanese plums.
Give me some of this stuff here. And this stuff tastes actually pretty sweet, and it looks red.
It's very much, it doesn't have a very strong vinegar flavor to it, it's just very, very salty. So instead of using a white salt, we're actually going to be using this. Yeah, it's very, very salty. So you can use white table salt, or you can use sea salt to do the same thing as what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
I prefer to use the plum vinegar because it also has very high probiotic properties to it. As I was saying, the Japanese use it in breakfast every morning to get their metabolism going. So that will be what we're going to kind of pre-pickle our cabbage with to break it down.
And is this called soy sauce, or is it called
soya sauce?
Or is it called soy sauce, or is it called shoyu?
Shoyu. This is, well, in Japanese it's called shoyu.
Shoyu.
I like to use tamari also, which is another form of it, which is a gluten-free version. So if you've got gluten problems, you look for tamari. If not, you can use shoyu or soy sauce.
Then we're going to use some raw organic coconut sugar to be the food for the fermentation process.
Right. Just so you always want to put just a little bit of sugar in it, because that'll start the fermentation process off.
Stick with us, because we're going to show you the whole process of how to make this kimchi right here on camera. What do we do first?
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of pre-pickle our cabbage to give it a nice softness to it. So we're going to be taking our cabbages, basically. So we'll take our Napa cabbage, and what's the other cabbage from your yard? This one here. Right?
Let's do it.
So we'll be just putting that in our dish, just kind of like split it up so it kind of falls apart. Then we'll be taking our ume vinegar, and we're just going to be coating every leaf, just dumping it as much as we can, just getting a nice good thick coat over every single leaf.
You washed your hands, right?
Of course I did. What we've done is now we've dumped a good amount of our ume vinegar on our leaves here. More is better than less, so just go crazy. We're actually going to kind of crushing the leaves a little bit, just kind of like flatten them out.
You're marinating it.
Marinating it, basically. So then we want to take something heavy like another bowl and just kind of setting it down there, and then we'll be setting that off to the side. You want to give it a minimum of half an hour to 45 minutes to break down, and you'll start noticing that the leaves are going to start looking like floppy floppy.
Kind of like when I spend too much time in the ocean.
Right.
My skin looks like this cabbage.
And that's kind of what the salt is going to add to it. It's going to start breaking it down like that. So you do that for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and it makes your kimchi will just, it's going to ferment faster. So you'll be able to have it in a couple of days instead of having to wait for a week.
So that one is new, but this one's been going for 30 minutes to 40 minutes.
Correct.
So what do we do with it next?
So next what we're going to do is we're going to get our bowl. We're actually going to be making all of our kimchi in. And don't be scared to get your hands into this. Like you're going to need to use your hands to squish and knead and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So basically we're just going to add our ingredients. You don't need to actually dump the liquid from the cabbage in here. Just the cabbage itself is going to be salted well enough. So
you seem very pumped up about this kimchi.
I love kimchi. It's delicious.
You're very excited.
I love kimchi. I eat it a lot. I think it's delicious, and it makes me feel good. So now we just add all of our ingredients in at the same time.
In its current state, or chop it up?
We want to dice up the onions a little bit.
Okay,
everything else has been kind of diced up. While he's doing that, I'm going to take our coffee grinder, which, if you have a decent coffee grinder, it works really well for any kind of spices. And I'm going to be taking our peppers and dumping them in there just to grind them up to a nice powdered consistency.
Powder.
Keep the pieces fairly large. You don't want to dice them up too big. So that's actually probably great. That's great.
And just so you know, I washed my hands too.
Oh, good. So you can see we've actually got like our decent powder here now of peppers. You don't want it too chunky.
Next we have green onions.
We do. We're just going to add the green onions in, just toss those in. Now this is kind of, this recipe it's not specific. Like you can definitely play with the amount. It's not real.
It'll be representative of the mood we're in right now.
Sure.
Do we add the tree collards?
Throw it all in. Yeah.
Do we add the ginger?
Go about half the ginger. We don't need that much ginger. Yeah, that's fine. That's
okay.
Good. The ginger is going to pickle up also, so it's not going to be super hot like ginger normally is.
You want it in chunks that big?
Yeah, I usually kind of matchstick it, so I strip it out.
But that could be according to what you want.
Right.
You can do it smaller or bigger.
You can. It just depends on how much ginger you want per bite, I guess.
And then I have this bok choy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you say that bok choy is really good to add to this recipe.
It is actually one of the more, I think it's one of the traditional things that they add to it.
And I'm trying to convince you to let me powder up some sea kelp as well.
Sure, might as well throw that in.
So I'm a really big advocate of this stuff, the sea kelp, whether it's a smoothie or a pasta or a Chipotle burrito. I pulverize this stuff in a coffee grinder, and I'm constantly adding sea kelp to all my foods because I really think it has a lot of nutrients for your body, but it also helps to jumpstart your metabolism and your thyroid. It has a high amount of naturally occurring iodine. So I'm forcing Nate to let me put this sea kelp in this kimchi recipe. So we can also add all this hot pepper, yeah?
Not all of it.
How much do we add?
We're gonna add about a fourth of a cup.
A quarter cup.
Yeah.
And is that typical? You want it really spicy?
Well, once again, you can a little more, please.
Okay.
This little guy's just gonna be all of it. It's fine. Yeah, that's good. You can vary how much pepper you put in it depending on your tolerance level, as well as what kind of peppers you're using.
Okay.
You can use really, really fiery peppers, or you can use medium pepper. We've kind of got a medium mix going on right now of semi-hot and hot peppers together. So this will be hot, but not nuclear hot.
Okay. And I'm going to pulverize the sea kelp inside here. All right, sea kelp time.
Sea kelp, all right. This will add a different flavor. I haven't tried in this yet.
I figure it'd be a little bit of a seaweedy taste, which is not bad for kimchi.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so now what do you have here?
We're gonna add some garlic to it.
This is like a quarter cup of minced garlic.
Yep, I always like garlic, so more garlic to me is better than less.
So just so you know, what we have in here right now with these leafy greens, these dark leafy greens, sea kelp, this hot pepper, garlic, vinegar, this seems like a complete organ cleanse. And ginger, this seems like the most intense organ cleanse of all time.
It's good for you, to say the least.
Yeah.
So the last ingredient we're gonna actually, well, I guess we got two more to go here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our soy sauce or tamari or shoyu. And we're gonna be putting about a fourth cup of shoyu also. Mm-hmm. It's going to add a little bit more salt to it. This is a fairly salty dish. Using the ume vinegar, I found actually kind of decreases the salt flavor a little bit, as opposed to being really intensely salty.
And we're also going to show people that stick with us at the end of the video, we're going to show them how to eat it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then just about a teaspoon and a half of sugar, a teaspoon of sugar. We're actually using coconut sugar on this one.
And people who are used to fermenting things, sugar is kind of like the food or the fuel of the cultures that ferment the dish.
It needs to have something to eat, and sugar seems to satisfy its hunger.
Like whether it's beer or wine, or whether it's kombucha or kimchi, those sugars are the fuel.
Absolutely. All right, and this is where we get our hands dirty. We're just going to get in here and just start actually kind of rolling it all together, and just bringing all the ingredients, just kind of folding it in. And while you're doing it, you kind of massage the ingredients. I know it sounds a little odd, but it actually kind of squishes the ingredients into it and helps trigger the fermentation process.
This video just got a little erotic.
I don't know where you're going with this, Jake, but...
So you've been massaging the kimchi for like 5 minutes?
I have been.
And now it's all marinated, and the leaves are looking more soft and loose and kind of saturated with moisture.
You can see how they've already kind of started to break down. So now we're just going to be canning this stuff. So
you got a jar.
You should have a nice clean jar and just start stuffing the cabbage into it. Now what you're going to see as this stuff sits for the next couple of days, you're going to see moisture starting to form as the cabbage and stuff starts to break down more and more, and that's fine. Moisture in it is actually good, and you can use that as almost like a broth or a soup base, or just to put over rice and things like that.
Should this be in the fridge? Should it be covered with a cheesecloth? How should we do it?
So what we're gonna do is basically you're just gonna put the lid on it and you're gonna leave it out at room temperature for about 24 hours.
But should it be sealed or like a cheesecloth so it can breathe?
You want it sealed.
Sealed.
Yeah, but you should go, since it's going to be breaking down, releasing gases, you're gonna wanna burp it once in a while. So throughout the day, open it up, just let the gases escape so it doesn't really cause stress in the jar.
So that's what it looks like now. And it smells like...
It smells really good.
Like a Chinese stir fry. It smells really good.
Before we pick that up, let's just get a little more of this juice in there, just so we can kind of scoop it up just a little bit there. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. There.
So there we go. We have a sealed jar of homemade kimchi, which is about 50 to 75% from the garden outside. So the ingredients traveled 25 feet into the kitchen.
Yep. And we're gonna leave this out on the counter for 24 hours, burping it occasionally, and then we'll put it in the refrigerator, and it should be good to eat within 72 hours.
2 days in the fridge after 1 day on the counter.
Correct.
All right, we have the one that we just made, and magically we have the one that's been fermenting and chilling in my fridge that you made a few days ago. Mm-hmm. And because you said that each batch kind of is different because you're making it by hand, these look a little different.
There's also a different type of pepper in this one too. This is the Korean red pepper as opposed to the peppers you got out of your yard.
Which I'm of the mentality that if you guys go to a restaurant and you order the same dish over and over again, it should come out different every time if the ingredients are fresh and healthy.
True.
Because if somebody can reproduce the exact same Oreo cookie every single time, it's actually bad for your health.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
The food should taste according to the seasons we're in.
Right.
So you made this one, looks different, but same process.
Right. And
we're gonna eat this today with some nice organic wild rice we just cooked up in the rice cooker with chopsticks I got from China.
I like them.
And we're gonna open this up and I'll describe to you guys what it smells like here. It kind of smells like an old coleslaw, but with soy sauce added in. And so we're not gonna just eat this like ice cream, we're gonna put it onto our rice, correct?
Right. It's usually used as a condiment on other things.
And so how about that?
That looks good to me.
Here, I'll give you some here too.
Yes, please. And you really see what it looks like when it's broken down too. You can see the green onion in there.
And so there's
a piece of cabbage.
So none of this is actually cooked, it's all just fermented.
It's all just fermented. And the fermenting process kind of is a way of cooking in and of itself.
That's pretty cool. And let's take a taste and I'll describe for you guys what it tastes like here.
Tastes delicious is how it tastes.
It's very good. It's like kind of ginger spicy, like almost like wasabi spicy. Oh, there's the pepper. And really good against the rice. I think so.
The kind of blandness of the rice works with the spiciness. It comes together very nicely.
That's great, man. Well,
I'm pretty happy with it.
I hope you guys love this episode, and if you guys like episodes like this, hit the like button for me and subscribe. Add this video to your favorites and share it. And we'll do more of these with cool recipes. Thanks for watching, you guys. I will see you all next time, or I'll see you at the online school. And make sure to say thanks to Nathan Morrison down in the comments. And I'll see you guys on Instagram, Facebook, or the jakemace.com site.